Sometimes the darkest nights create the brightest stars. This is the story of a girl who went from having nothing, no home, no money, no safe place, to becoming a student at one of the most famous universities in the world. It is a story of pain, hope, and courage. It is a story about the power of education. Her name was Liz. She grew up in New York City. From the outside, people thought life in New York was full of bright lights and big dreams. But for Liz, childhood was full of fear and hunger. Her parents struggled. They used drugs. They fought with each other. They could not keep a job. They could not pay rent. Sometimes there was no food in the kitchen. Sometimes there was no electricity. Liz and her little sister often felt invisible. This is a useful phrase. Never give up. Liz repeated this to herself many times. Never give up. She whispered it when she was cold. She whispered it when she was hungry. When Liz was only 15, her life became even harder. Her mother died of AIDS. Her father disappeared into the streets. Suddenly, Liz and her sister had no home. They slept in abandoned buildings. They slept in stairwells. They slept on benches in the park. This is another useful word, homeless. Liz was homeless. Homeless means without a home. Many people passed by her every day, but few stopped to help. Yet, Liz had something powerful inside her, hope. Hope is another useful word. Hope means believing that life can get better even when everything is broken. One night, Liz looked at the stars above the city. She thought, I can let this life destroy me, or I can fight for a better future. She chose to fight. Liz went back to school, but it was not easy. She was dirty. She had no money for books. She often came to class hungry. Some students laughed at her clothes. But Liz kept walking into that classroom every day. She kept listening. She kept learning. Here is another useful phrase, step by step. Liz knew she could not change her life in one day, but step by step, she could move forward. Every morning she washed her face in public bathrooms. Every night, she studied under streetlights. When teachers gave homework, she wrote on scraps of paper. Sometimes she stayed awake all night reading borrowed books. She said to herself again, never give up, step by step. One teacher noticed her. His name was Perry. He saw that Liz was smart. He saw that Liz was different. She had a fire inside her. Perry gave her extra books. He encouraged her. He told her, education can be your way out. Education, another useful word. Education means learning, knowledge, and growth. Education can open doors. Education can change lives. Liz believed in education. She believed that knowledge was the key to freedom. So she studied harder. She entered a program that helped poor students finish high school in just 2 years. Liz completed 4 years of work in only 2 years. She worked day and night. She studied every weekend. But Liz faced many challenges. Hunger was one. Fear was another. Sometimes she wanted to quit. Sometimes she asked herself, why should I fight? Maybe I should just give up. But then she remembered another useful phrase. Dream big. Dream big. Her dream was Harvard University. Harvard is one of the most respected schools in the world. For a homeless girl, it seemed impossible. But Liz thought, why not me? I can dream big. So she filled out the application. She wrote about her life, her pain, her fight. She told them how she believed in education. Weeks passed. Then one day she received a letter. She opened it with shaking hands. The words made her cry. "You have been accepted." Liz had done it. She was going to Harvard. This is another useful word, opportunity. An opportunity is a chance to do something great. Harvard was Liz's opportunity. But going to Harvard was not the end of the story. It was the beginning of a new fight. At Harvard, many students came from rich families. They wore expensive clothes. They traveled to other countries on vacation. They had never known hunger. Liz sometimes felt she did not belong. She sometimes felt small. But then she remembered another useful phrase: believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. She told herself this every morning before class. She reminded herself that she had survived the streets. She had survived hunger. She had survived loneliness. If she could survive all of that, she could survive Harvard. Step by step. Never give up. Dream big. Believe in yourself. At Harvard, Liz studied hard. She sat in the front row. She asked questions. She read late into the night. She wrote essays with passion. Professors admired her determination. She also began to share her story with others. She wanted to inspire young people who were struggling. She wanted to tell them, you are not alone. Another useful phrase, you are not alone. She visited schools and told children, I know what it feels like to be hungry. I know what it feels like to sleep outside. But I also know that education can change everything. Don't give up. Dream big. Step by step, you can build a new life. Her words gave hope. Years later, Liz graduated from Harvard. She walked across the stage in her cap and gown. The crowd cheered. Tears ran down her face. She thought of her mother. She thought of her sister. She thought of the nights she slept on cold floors. This was not just her victory. It was a victory for every child who ever felt forgotten. Another useful word, courage. Courage means facing fear and pain, but moving forward anyway. Liz had courage. Her story became famous. Newspapers wrote about her. Television shows invited her. She became a voice for the poor. She reminded the world that education is power. Today, Liz continues to inspire millions. She teaches people that no matter how dark life looks, there is always hope. She reminds us that step by step, with courage, we can rise. Let's review the useful words and phrases we heard in her story. Never give up. Homeless. Hope. Step by step. Education. Dream big. Opportunity. Believe in yourself. You are not alone. Courage. Knowledge. Future. Each of these words carries power. Each one tells a story. So, dear listener, what about you? Maybe your challenge is not homelessness. Maybe your challenge is learning English. Some days it feels hard. Some days you feel tired. Some days you want to give up. But remember Liz's journey. Remember her words. Never give up. Step by step. Believe in yourself. Dream big. Your future can be brighter than your past. Education can open doors for you too. And English is part of that education. So keep listening, keep practicing, keep believing, because you are not alone and your story is still being written.